G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we are going to learn how to make this crochet bucket hat. It is easy to do and you won't believe how easy it is. There will be a written pattern for this located on my website. I will put a link for you in the description box below. This can be made with any yarn. You can use acrylic or cotton for this project. I've used acrylic because I could not find any cotton in my stash. Don't worry, we've got that sorted. I have ordered some. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we are going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a crochet hook to go with your yarn. I will be using a worsted weight. That is a number 4 yarn in the US. It is a 10 ply here in Australia, and in England it is about an Aran weight yarn. You can use a number 3 weight yarn, which is a DK or an 8 ply, depending on where you live. This will work with both weights of yarn because we are just using the size of the granny square. And I just remembered, because I've just mentioned the size, we also need a tape measure. If anyone is wondering, this is the colour Spring Green. I will leave a link below in the description box, which is down here under the video, so that you can buy this yarn if you would like to grab some for yourself. You can use a cotton yarn. Like I said, this is just 100% acrylic, but if you want to make this for summer, you can use a cotton yarn. Let me know in the comments section, what is your favourite cotton yarn and what brand do you buy, because I would really love to know. We are also going to need some side cutters, pinch these from the hubby shed, and some thick tape. I'm not sure what this is called, but it's like a fabric tape and you can rip it really easily. And we're going to need some cable wire, and I got this one off Amazon, so I will put the link for you in the description box below so that you can grab your own. For this project, if you have made a granny square before, this is going to be an easy project for you. If you haven't made a granny square before, then follow along. If you need more information about making a granny square, there will be a video pop up just here on the screen, and the link will also be in the description box. I think this hat is amazing because you don't need to, if you've ever made a hat, or even if you haven't made a hat, you don't have to remember all your increases, etc, etc, and it can get a little confusing if you are a beginner. We're going to chain 4. So this hat is, it takes all the hard parts out of making a hat. We are going to join to the very first chain, so I've got 4 chains. If you find this a little small, you can use 5, and then we're going to go into that very first chain and we're going to join to make a ring. I've been crocheting for a long time, so I know where the middle of my ring is, but if you don't, if you chain 5, it may help you find the middle a lot easier. I'm going to crochet I'm going to crochet over my tail so that I can cinch the little ring that it creates, little hole that it creates. So I'm going to cinch it in and you won't even know it's there. So to start off, we can do a chain 3. If you have an alternative double crochet, then work with that now. I'm teaching in US terms, and as you can hear, I am an Australian. So if you are using the UK, Australian or New Zealand terms, this is going to be made in treble stitches. So yarn over, go into the middle of that. As you can see, it is tiny, but I'll actually just put my finger through so it makes the hole bigger. And we're going to work 2 double crochets. You will need to know how to do a double crochet for this pattern. If you need more help on that, there will be a video pop up on the screen here, or it will be in the description box. So we've got our 3 stitches. The chain 3 counts as our first stitch. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make my first corner. So for me, that is a chain 2. And of course, if you're watching this video, it's a chain 2 for you as well. Into the middle, we are going to work 3 double crochets. So yarning over, going in to the middle and completing your stitch. We want to do this 3 times. And it's worked all into that center hole. So we can see we've got our first 3 there, got our chain 2, and then 1, 2, 3. We want to make another chain 2 because that is our second corner. Now I am crocheting over it. So I'm just laying this tail end just over, see the ring there that we created, the hole, just over that part there. I'm laying that over and just crocheting around it like it's not even there. So we want to do 3 more double crochets, so yarning over, going into the middle, and then we're going to work our double crochets. Want 3 all together. Want to chain 2. And altogether we need 4 because there are 4 corners on a square. So we need 4 lots of 3 double crochets all together, and you're going to need 4 lots of chain 2s. So we've done our group of chain 2, so we want to do 3 more double crochet. It's all going into the ring, and I'm crocheting over that strand of yarn. I just kind of hold it there so it doesn't move around. So 1, 2 and 3, and then we want to do 2 chains, and that will complete the 4th corner of our square. Give me 1 second, my yarn is getting stuck there. So now we can pop this tail to the back, and you'll see we have our first group stitches, so 1, 2, 3 and then 4. Got our chain 2 there, and we're going to join to the top of the first stitch. For me it's a chain 3, so go to your 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, and then join that together. I like to go through the 2 loops so they're at the top, and then pull that across. If you're going to use a different colour for every round, I would recommend finishing off your yarn and then join your new colour into the next chain 2 space. I am going to continue with the same colour, so what I'm going to do, so I don't have loads of ends to sew in, I'm going to slip stitch across until I get to the chain 2 space, which is over here. So into the next 2 double crochets, so this one and that one, I'm going to work a slip stitch. So you just go in, pull through the loop, go into the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through the loop. Don't make those too tight. Make them a little loose so that they don't pull your crochet work together. It makes it lay flat. And also into this chain 2 space we are also going to make a slip stitch. So now we are in the corner, as you can see, and we are ready to go with round 2. Round 2, chain up 3 and work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space. So here, because it's a chain 2, this is the chain 2 space. So we're going to work 2 double crochet into there, and that completes 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then chain 2 because it's a corner, and then work 3 double crochet into the chain 2 space, which is just here, and it's all worked in the same chain 2 space, and what it does is creates the next corner for the round of our granny square. So there is the corner. Into the next chain 2 space over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work 3 stitches, so 3 double crochets. Again, if you're Australian, English or New Zealand, you are going to know this as a treble. I think it's funny how they can be the same stitch but different names. So 3 stitches there, chain 2, and then 3 stitches into that same chain 2 space. Let me know where you're watching from. I am in New South Wales, which is a state of Australia, and I am down near Canberra, if anyone knows that, where that is. So that's our other corner. So now we have 2 corners, so 1, 2. So we want to put our 3rd corner in. We're going to skip across here to this chain 2 space, and we want to work 3 stitches into that space. My yarn is just getting stuck. I haven't used enough of the ball yet, so it just keeps getting stuck. Chain 2, and then 3 more stitches, double crochets into that chain 2 space. So in there with your hook and working 3 double crochet. Don't forget you can rewind or pause the video at any time. I do not mind whatsoever. And you can rewind as many times as you like as well. I promise I won't worry about it. So we've got 3 corners. We want to do our 4th, which is over here. And we're going to work 3 double crochets. You already know what's going to be. 3 double crochet. Chain 2. And then 3 double crochet into that same space. So our corners have a combination of 3, 2 and 3. So you can remember 3, 2, 3. That is 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. We are up to the end of our round. You can see here's the beginning, and we're going to join into the top of the chain 3. For me, that's up the top here. And you can see the 2 loops. I'll show you where I join into. There's a loop here at the front, and there's a loop there at the back. That's where I put my crochet hook through, and that's how I join. And I use my crochet hook and I twist it, and I kind of like scoop it. I find that's for me the easiest way to pick that loop up, and then push it through the back loop. And we're going to make a slip stitch, pull tight so that all goes snug. And that's the second round of our granny square. We are going to start the next round. Again, if you are changing colour, finish off now and then chain to your new colour and join it into the chain 2 space here. I'm not changing colour because I do not want ends to sew in on this project. So I'm going to slip stitch across in those 2 stitches and then slip stitch into the chain 2 space as well. We want to chain up 3 and then work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space. So we're working a corner first of all. Each round starts on the corner. So it's 3 stitches because our chain 3 counts as the first one. Chain 2. And I just grab this and just, you'll see if you watch there, a little space will appear. I just like to scoot that over. I don't know why, it's a habit that I've got, and that's what I do. I just find there's a bit more space to put that second part of the corner in. So we've got our 3 stitches, 2 chain, and then 3 double crochets. You'll notice on this round we've gained a hole right there. So before we went corner, 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 and now because we've done that, we've increased each round. So we've got this one there. So that one just gets 3 double crochets in there. So if you're on the straight sides, it's 3 double crochet. But then if you're on a corner, it's the 3, 2, 3. So that's just 3 stitches, no chains or anything. On to the next corner, you can see there. If you've literally just begun on making granny squares, put stitch markers in each chain 2 space in that corner, and that will just remind you, give you a visual that when you get up to there, you know you've got to put a corner in. I've probably made over 1,000 granny squares, so have a little bit of practice. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. I too have just crocheted around and forgot to put the corner in. And chain 2. So we've got our 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet all into that same chain 2 space. Again, we are on the straight side here. We've gained this extra hole, extra space. So we're going to work 3 double crochet into there. Into our chain 2 space, we are going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So you can see here we have 3 corners, 1, 2 and 3. Here's our 4th one, so we're going to crochet across. We have our gap here, so we're going to work 3 double crochet into that. And each round that we make, we're going to get an extra space on our straight side. So I'll show you in a second. Okay, so we've got our 3 stitches. If I just turn this back again, see now there's 1. So this is our corner. Then you've got 1 space here, second space there, and then a corner. So you've gained a space on each side. And that's just what happens. And that's how a granny square gets bigger. So we'll finish this round and then we will measure our hat, and I will show you how to measure the hat so you know the size head it's going to fit. Fourth corner, and we've got 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So we just got 1 more straight side, so that's on that one. Going to work 3 double crochet. And then into my very first stitch, I'm going to join to the top of the chain 3. You can see there we have a square. Looking good. Love this green. So lovely. Okay, so we're going to measure our square, and it's going to show us how big this hat is going to be. And there is a formula that we can use. So if you've got your phone or a calculator handy, then you might need this. Because unless you're really, really smart, you will need your calculator. Because I need my calculator. I cannot work it out in my head. I've got my tape measure. I'm going to first do it in centimetres. So that is 10 centimetres across. So we've got 10 centimetres. If I flip that over, that's 4 inches. I don't know if this is the tape measure that retracts by itself without even pressing any buttons. So I'm just going to pop that there so I don't scare myself. Here's Charlie. Isn't he adorable? It's my new puppy. He's now almost 2 though. He's not that new. We are going to find a calculator. The method we use to work it out, hello, is 3.14 times what we just had. So I'm going to work with inches because I think most people work with inches. So it's 4 inches. Equals 12.56. So let's just say 12.5. So it's 12.5 inches. If the person that you're making this for has a circumference of 12.5 inches, so the head measurement all the way around, if their head measurement is 12.5 inches, this is how many rounds you need to do for your increase. If the hat needs to be bigger, you need to add more rounds. I am going to make this to fit me, and my head is, I think, 21 inches. We'll go with 21 inches. Let's say you have the head measurement, but you don't know how big to make your hat. So what you can do when you want to work that out, you take the measurement first, so 21 inches, and you divide it by 3.14 equals, you need to make it so it's 6.6. So let's go 6.5, for instance, 6.5 inches. Now let's measure the outside of this. I can already tell you that this is not going to be big enough. It needs to be 6.6 inches across. We just measured it, didn't we? So I think it was 4. Yep, it was 4 inches. So this is not going to fit me because I need it to be 6 inches across. I think that's about 18 centimetres. What is that? 8, 6, no, it's 15 centimetres. But I need to make it so my hat is 6 inches across. So do you get what I mean? This is going to be too small for me because once I work out the measurement, it's not going to work. Don't worry, you do not need to remember this multiplication thing. It is on the written pattern, so I will have that there for you. So I know that I need to add at least 1 more round, probably 2, to make this fit my head. So what we're going to do is I need to get to my corner. If you're changing colours, finish off and join in the corner. If you're not, slip stitch across. And we're going to start our corner. So chain up 3 and 2 double crochet into the same space. I just shifted it over a bit, chain 2 and 3 double crochet in that same chain 2 space. You can see I've popped my quarter in there, and now we have the 2 spaces, so we're going to work 3 double crochet into there, into the next space, work another 3 double crochets. Don't forget, you can pause me if you need to. If I crochet too slow, this video will be like 5 days long. We are up to a corner. You can see there's a corner here. Again, if you do need to use stitch markers, go for it. Don't worry about what it looks like. It will remind you, because you'll feel it and you'll say, oh, that's right, I've got to do a corner. I use stitch markers all the time to remind me to do stuff with crochet. So 1, 2, 3, chain and 2, and 3 double crochet back into that same space. I'm sitting here thinking about cotton yarn. So we're on the straight side again, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into that space, and also the next one, so another 3 into there. I'm wondering what I'm going to find when I go online to have a look. I'm sure there's plenty of options. There we go, another corner coming up, so you can see the chain 2 space there. Work your corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Then work your groups of 3 double crochets into the next 2 spaces, and then your corner over there. Let's just have a look, see what's going on. Looking good. Love it. I'm actually checking to make sure I've done my corners properly. Ah dear. Alrighty, so we need 3 double crochet into the next 2 spaces. And then your corner. So continue on, and I will meet up with you when we are ready to join. Pause the video and I'll see you there. When we are ready to join, find your first stitch and join into the top. Okay, where's a tape measure? I'm pretty sure this is the one that scares me all the time. If you've been around long enough, you may have seen some of my videos that it just retracts without pressing the button, and it just scares the life out of me. So now it is 12 centimeters across, or about 5 inches. So about 5 inches there, or about 12 and a bit centimeters. So what did I say I needed? I needed 6.5, didn't I? So yeah, it's not big enough yet. I still need to do another round. So if you need to do other rounds, pause the video here and complete your amount of rounds that you need to do. They just are the same as the last one that we did. And as you can see on this one, instead of having 2 spaces like we did before, now we've got 3. So that's your corner. So 1, 2, 3, and then that's your next corner. So yeah, you've gained that extra space. So continue on, pause the video here, and I'll see you when we're up to the next step. I have finished another round on my granny square. As you can see there, grab my tape measure and give it a measure. And it is about 6 inches. It's going to give because it's crochet. It's just about 6 inches. So 6 inches, which is 15 centimeters. And that is pretty much the size I need. If you need to make yours bigger, go for it. Just add the amount of rounds that you need. But I am ready to start the next step of the hat. You are not going to believe how easy this hat is. Like, Honestly, I didn't believe it when I very first made my own. I just realised this hat pattern is based off one I've already got online and it's been on there for a while. I just realised I've used the exact same colour. I'm not a green person, but apparently I am. What is your favourite colour that you keep going back to? Normally I'm a blue person, but I do love this green. This is the spring green in the red heart. I do love this colour. Our next part to our pattern is we are going to slip stitch, or if you're changing colour, just join your colour into that chain 2 space. And from now on, we do not do any more increasing, which means we don't do any more corners. So remember how we did 3 and then 2 and then 3? We don't do that anymore. All we do into these corner spaces, and it's only going to be on this round because after that the corners disappear, we are going to do 3 double crochets. We don't do any more chain 2s in corners or anything like that. So yippee, nothing to remember except for 3 double crochets in every space around. So we're going to work our 3 double crochets. So I'm in my corner here, but corners, see you later. Don't want to know you now. We are going to go into the next space, which is here, and work 3 double crochet. When you are wearing this hat, you cannot tell that it is a square on the top. It is so strange. I don't know how it works. It's magic. Pretty sure it's crochet magic. Into the next space, 3 double crochet. And in every space around, even your corner spaces, the chain 2 spaces, I'm just going into each space working 3 double crochet. How easy is that? Okay, we're up to a chain 2 space. In there, we're only going to do 3 double crochet. The chain 2 space is now a distant memory. Then we're going to just do 3 double crochets. Into the next one, over here, 3 double crochets. And I'll just show you what it looks like in case you are not crocheting along with the video and you're just watching the video. See, it disappears. The corner is no more. And you might think that it looks really boxy when you wear it. It does not. It does not. I promise. It does not look boxy when you're wearing it. It is weird. It's like your head just molds to the hat. Or is your hat molding to your head? I don't know. So just 3 double crochet. I already told you, 3 double crochet in each space around. It is that easy. Great project for watching TV because you could just feel for the holes rather than have. I mean, obviously, if you're a beginner, you will need to have a look, but if you're one of those experienced crocheters and you don't need to look when you're making a granny stitch blanket. I keep calling it a granny stitch, and someone, I'm so sorry, I do not remember who you were, but I know it was a comment on one of my videos and they said it might be Diane. Was it you, Diane? And they were saying people refer to the no, it wasn't Diane, it might have been Sandra. I don't know. It was one of you lovely ladies. You were saying that people refer to the corner to corner as a stitch, a corner to corner stitch. It is not a stitch, it is a combination of stitches that creates the corner to corner effect. It's a stitch pattern, it's not, I can't remember exactly what you said, stitch pattern, it's not actually a stitch, which is true, it's a group of 3 double crochets. Oh, a corner to corner is a group of 4 double crochets. But I always call this the granny stitch. It is not technically the granny stitch because it's just a group of 3 double crochets in a hole. It's a combination of stitches. So therefore, I think you're saying it was a technique. So do we call it the granny technique? That just sounds a bit weird. Because I've always called it the granny stitch. I think most people would maybe understand if you said the granny stitch, like I made a cardigan using the granny stitch, rather than I made a cardigan and used the granny square stitch. I don't know. What do you call it? Let me know. Pop it in the comment section. I'm just doing 3 double crochets in every single space. Another corner space here. So continue around, and I will see you in the next part of the video when we are ready to join. So pause the video and I'll see you there. Once we come around, we are ready to join. It is a little bit harder to see because we don't have that corner in there sticking up going, hello, join over here. It is this bit when you get, if you could just crochet along there and just think that that's just where you need to crochet. If you've changed colour, it will probably stand out more because you'll see this row is a different colour. But because I've used just the one, it is harder to see. So you can see there's a corner there, so there's 3 here and 3 here. But then in this bit, there's only just the one lot of 3. So that's where we're going to join. And the rows from, it's not rows, it's rounds. The rounds from now on are just going to be what we just did. 3 double crochets in each space around. And we're going to continue doing that until we have the hat, the height that we need it. If you're not sure on how high you need your hat, I will put a link below in the description box of suggested hat heights. That's a lot of ha-has. Suggested hat heights that I've got on my website, and you can check that out. It's also a handy thing to print off. You could laminate it or put in one of those plastic sleeves. It's a really handy thing to keep. And also, even if you just print this pattern out, it's also got the head circumferences for different ages. I am 99% sure I have the head size suggestions written out in a separate document, and that's also on my website. If that is a true story, I will put the link in the description box. If it's not a true story, there will be no link. It has been a long time since I have made a video tutorial, so brain is not braining. Like I said, all we do now is continue with the sides until you have it the size that you need it. This is just me, so I can just pop it on my head. What we want to do, we do want to make it probably 1 row shorter than what we need it, because we're going to put a brim on it. Sometimes if you make a hat full length, when you put a brim on it, it covers your eyes and you can't see anything. So just be aware of that. So pause the video and I'll meet you when I have the length of my hat finished. I have 12 rounds altogether. You may need more rounds if you have used a thinner weight yarn. This is a worsted weight and I used a 5mm or a H crochet hook. If you've used smaller and thinner yarn, then you may need to do a couple of more rounds. Totally fine. It doesn't matter how many rounds you do on this pattern. It's all going to work. We're up to our brim. And what we're going to do is we are going to, in our first space there, we're going to do just our 3 stitches. So chain 3, and then in that same space, work 2 double crochet. Into the next one, we are going to work an increase. So that is just the corner of your granny square. So the 3 2 3 that we were doing, that's what it is. So it's 3 double crochets, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet. I feel like this is much darker to see. Let me just shift this light slightly. Is that better? That feels brighter for me to look at. Okay, and 3, so 1 more. So 1 2 3, and then okay, so that's our corner or increase. It's not a corner, it's an increase, but it's the same thing. same amount of stitches and stuff. So into the next one, we're going to work one group of 3 double crochet. Into the next space, we are going to work another increase. So we're working an increase in every second space. So it's 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet. You already know this, don't you? Why am I even telling you? Into the next space, 3 double crochet. Into the next space, an increase. And that's what we're going to do for this entire round on this one. Doing an increase every second space, and then every other space we are just working 3 double crochet. Just show you what that's looking like. You can see an increase there, 3 by themselves, and then another increase here. So repeat this all the way around, pause the video, and I'll see you when we are up to the next bit. You can see here I've just finished off my round. I just joined like we have been for the previous rounds, join into the top of the stitch there. And what we want to do now for the next 2 rounds are going to be exactly the same. We are just going to do 3 stitches. So our first one here is a chain 3. We're going to work 3 stitches in each space. So 2 double crochets to make it the 3. In the next space, 3 double crochets. There's no chaining or anything on this round, just it's like the sides of our hat when we were completing the length of it. So in this chain 2 space here, which is the increase, again we're just going to work 3 double crochets, and we're going to work this all the way around, and then we're going to do another one exactly the same. And what it does is, how do you say, words. It smoothens, is that a word? Smoothers? No, that's not a word. Smoothens. That does not seem like a word. It smooths out the edge. Terrible at maths, terrible at English, and which is ironic because I'm English, born in England, cannot speak the language properly. So continue doing this for this round and also the next. If you want to do more rounds, feel perfectly free to do that. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we have our next 2 rounds done. She's got this plastic on it so it doesn't unwind everywhere. Whoa, like that. Back up there. And this piece that hubby found in the shed is actually what I need. So I'm just going to cut this. Hubby made this look really easy to do. Oh, but I have no strength in my hands, but I was able to do that, so that's good. And you'll see there, just wondering if there's any sharp ends. It's a little sharp on the end, but this one's coated in a plastic. It has a plastic coating on it, so that's good. But I thought this tape that we have is going to just hold it together and cover up any sharp bits if we do have them. Probably wondering how I measured it, better tell you that part too. So we have our hat here. My yarn is still attached to the brim, but we finished the brim. And obviously this is optional, you don't have to do this. And we're going to measure around the outside of the brim, and then we're going to add, let's say 2 inches, I think I added to mine. So yes, I've got about 2 extra inches, but that's good because we want that. So we're going to grab our tape. I don't know if I've ever said this before in a live video or in a video, but myself and tape do not get along. Sticky tape, the clear stuff, hate it. So So you can literally just rip that. So that's what's telling me it's some sort of fabric. It's probably not a fabric, that's just my sewing brain thinking that. Let's zoom in. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Zoom in a little bit. And what we're going to do is just overlap our piece of wire here by about 1 inch. Then we're going to get our piece of tape. I want to make sure the tape is covering both ends. So if I just turn that over, can you see this end is covered by the tape? And then also that end is covered by the tape just there. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to, hang on a second. Let me do that again. I just want to put it to the top of the tape so that we don't have that big chunk. Making sure the ends are covered. There we go. I'm just going to fold that down to hold that in place. And then we're just going to wrap it over. I'm sorry that this is a black sticky tape and on black background. Let me see if I have something just to pop down. There we go. So you've got your tape there. So let's just wrap this around. I'm going to make it as tight as we can. You don't have to use all that tape. You can just get rid of a little bit of it. You don't want it to be too bulky there on the join. So we can just cut off any of those threads that stick out. And then just squish the end bits there. We have our piece of wire taped up. We have our wire and our taped section, and then we have our hat, and then that is going to go on like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our hat where we finished off our crochet. You won't need to fold your hat like that. I'm just doing that just so it's tucked away for the tutorial. And then we're going to grab our wire and place the bit that you've taped just away from where you're starting, and that's going to help us. So where is my crochet hook? And what we're going to do is we're going to crochet around the wire, and that will attach it to our hat. So we're going to single crochet, so I'm going to do a chain 1. I'm going to go into the stitch, and then the piece of wire is sort of like laying on top of my crochet hook, and then I'm grabbing the yarn, and when you grab the yarn it'll pull it around the piece of wire. We have our first single crochet done, and that has secured the wire to the hat, so now we can keep going. And this is the second time I filmed this, because the first time felt like there wasn't enough stitches around the wire, and you could see the wire a little bit, and I just didn't like it. So we're just going to do more increases. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you wouldn't even know if I didn't tell you. But that's how much time goes into crochet tutorials. You keep having to pull stuff out and start again. So we've got 1 stitch in this one, and what we're going to do is every second stitch we're going to make 2 single crochets, or this can also be known as an increase. So we've got 1 stitch here, and the next one we want to do 2 single crochets. So we're going through. The wire is still on top of our crochet hook there. We're going to yarn over, grab that loop, pull through for a single crochet, and in that very same stitch, which is just there, we're going to do another single crochet. Into the next stitch we're going to work 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to work 2 single crochets. So we've got to do 2 into there, and then we're going to do 1 into the next one. So we need to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to do 1 into the next one. And we're going to alternate this all the way around. 1 and then 2. And then 1. And you can see here I'm not actually paying any attention to this. It is literally just coming along as we crochet, which is awesome. Not too much brain power being used right now. And if you caught the Instagram live, then you would have seen me making this part on the Instagram live. So just repeat that all the way around until we get back to here, and pause the video and I'll see you there. I'm up to the end of the round now, so you can see that just there. Did you find that enough stitches for you? If you feel like you need to add more, then try doing a increase in every stitch. I might try that on the next hat I made, because I do want to make another hat in cotton. Now I did order some, so yay. There will be an unboxing and everything for that, so we can check out the cotton. So we're just going to join with a slip stitch, and we're going to cut off our yarn, and then we're going to sew in our ends. And everyone should know how to do that. Here is my finished hat, and I absolutely love it. I love this. It is so cool. I can't wait to make it in cotton. Come on, yarn. Hurry up and come in the mail. Let me know what your favourite cotton is to make your cotton projects. I would love to know. And what colour are you going to choose to make yours? Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet. This is a worsted 4-weight yarn. That is equivalent to a 8-ply or a DK yarn here in Australia. And if you're in England, that is also a DK yarn. No, it isn't.